What up, guys? Welcome back. So today we're talking about the Pixel 9 Pro XL. Just a quick first impression video of what I think about this device. There's some good, there's some bad, there's some things that I'm not really sure of at this point. I've only had this phone for, well, I've had it for over a week. I've only been using it since Monday or Tuesday, I think. So just a few days, a first impression video on the Hazel Pixel 9 Pro XL. Now, we're just going to start off, guys, but first, if you're new to the channel, hit that like, drop a sub, but let's talk about this new device from Google. So one of the things that I really enjoy is the new build, the new look. This is the first Pixel device, and if you have one, let me know in the comments section, but this is the first Pixel device that actually does feel like a flagship device. The first one ever. I've used every Pixel since like the Pixel 5. And this is the first one that does feel premium. We got the squared off edges. And if Apple is the standard of what a phone should feel like, well, Samsung has followed suit and now Google has done the same thing. And I'm not mad at either of them. These phones do feel more premium. And like I said, this is the first Pixel device I've ever used that feels like a flagship phone. Now, saying that, two things I don't like is that they raised the price, right? So $1,100 starting price for this device with only 128 gigs of storage. You should slap yourself in the face. 128 gigs of storage is a joke at this point, especially at a phone at this price. And other companies are doing it too. Apple is no different. They'll get the smoke too. You guys are a bunch of idiots. I'm just going to say it right now. You're ripping us off as consumers. 128 gigs of storage sucks. It just does, especially when we're paying over $1,000 for a device. I can go out and buy a $200 device or a $300-$400 device with a minimum of 256 gigs of storage. It's not going to cost you a lot to do it, so stop it. Give us 256 as the minimum. At this point in 2024, soon to be 2025, it's a joke. Google, Apple, and whoever else is doing it, you guys suck. Now, saying that, again, back to what I really like about this device, the design. Now, the Hazel colorways, all four colorways on here, I do really like, especially this Hazel colorway. It's got some gray to it, a little bit of green, a little bit of gray, kind of a hybrid of both. But that matte finish on the back, the rounded squared off corners, just a very nice feeling and looking device. Now, one thing that stands out on every Pixel you're ever gonna have is this camera bump. You either love it or you hate it. I don't really like it. I really never have. But one thing is certain, if you see a phone like this out and about, it will stand out. And you will know right away that you are using a Pixel device. Now, the display on here, 6.8-inch display, 120 hertz, 20:9 aspect ratio, Gorilla Glass Victus 2 on the front, the satin matte back finish with the polished aluminum frame. Just a very well-looking phone. The display on here is fantastic. I love it. It's got 2000 nits of usable brightness with a peak brightness of 3000, which, you know, that's a lot. Using this phone in daylight is not going to be an issue. So overall, they did a really good job on here with the actual look, display, and all the hardware that we're getting. Now, again, this is a first impressions video. We still get the thermometer on here, so they still have some things on here that other companies are not giving us, which is always cool. IP68 water and dust proof or resistant. 7 years of OS and security updates on this device, which is always a good thing. But drop a comment and let me know if you are going to use any device ever for 7 years. That is a very long time. Now, one of the things that I mentioned in the video, some things I like, some things I'm not really sure about yet. One of the things I'm not really sure about yet, two of the things actually, the Tensor G4. Now, in the past, we've had some problems. The Tensor chips have not always been as efficient as some of the other chips, Apple and their chips, and Samsung with the Snapdragon chips. I wish this phone had the 8 Gen 3 in it, but we get the Tensor G4. So we'll see over time, and when I do a full review, I'll tell you about my experience with the Tensor. But one thing's, it kind of goes hand in hand right now. So the Tensor chip, the G4, with the 5060 milliamp battery on the XL Pro, right? So a little smaller battery on the 9 Pro and even smaller on the 9. But the 9 Pro XL does have a 5060 milliamp battery. Now, you would think that is going to give you some of the best battery life on a phone. That's a huge battery in a phone, and rumored to be bigger ones coming out on newer phones from other companies, which is always cool. 6,000 milliamp battery, I think, is rumored to be on the new OnePlus. But on here, a very big battery. So you would think, right, easily all day battery life, maybe a day and a half, maybe 2 days, day and a half on some iPhones from last year. This does not give me that. So I've been using this phone, I think, since Tuesday. Today, I'm shooting this video on Saturday. And so only a few days, right? And that's why it's just a first impressions video. But only one day out of those days was I able to get through a whole day. Now, I am a heavy user, I will say that. But at the same time, I'm taking photos, checking text messages on the phone, and browsing social media. And that's basically watching some YouTube content, and that's really it. I'm on it a lot, but at the same time, only one day was I able to get through the day. Now, as you can see here, it's 1:13 in the afternoon. I got out of bed this morning around 8 o'clock, went to the gym, listened to some music, came home, and touched my phone here and there. So it's 75% when I woke up. It's at 42% already, only after a few hours, and I just played some music and just talked on the phone a few times. That's it for the day. So it has dropped over 30% just in a few hours without me using it that much. So the battery drain on here, even when this phone is idle, is, in my opinion, not that great. Let me know your battery experience with the new phone. If you have the 9 or the 9 Pro or the Pro XL like I have here, if you are experiencing some of the same things, and I think this is directly related to the Tensor chip because it has been in the past. It hasn't been the most efficient chip. So we'll see over time, over the next week or two, when I drop a review, I'll get a better idea of the battery. But can you get a day out of this? Probably. Should it be more? Absolutely. Especially with the size of the battery in here. And if we're not getting a day and a half on a battery that size, then there has to be an efficiency problem with the chip. Now, let's talk about the cameras on this device. Now, of course, one thing Google has known for over the years has been exceptional cameras, right? It's never been an issue. It's never been a problem. That's one thing that gravitates people towards Pixel devices is the excellent camera quality. And you could say that pretty much about any phone right now, even phones that are much cheaper than this device. Cameras are at a point where most of them are just very good. Now on the front, we get a 42 megapixel front-facing camera, and of course on the back, the triple rear cameras, a 50 megapixel wide, the 48 megapixel ultra wide with a macro focus, and then a 48 megapixel 5x dedicated telephoto that can go up to 30 times with super res. Of course, the pictures and the photo quality on here, I have no issues with. Now, saying that, it does take a little longer to process. Sometimes you can see it in real time process after you take an image, after you take a photo of something, it will then process, and you can see it in real time that it is still doing it. But overall, the cameras and the pictures on here are just excellent, and that should be normal, right? With the Pixel, we kind of expect that. And if it wasn't like that, then it really wouldn't be a Pixel. So the cameras on here, I really don't have any issues with. They all do a very good job, just like they are supposed to. Now, all the AI camera features like the Magic Editor, the Magic Eraser, the Best Take, Photo Unblur, and Zoom Enhance, I will be checking out in a full review, and we will talk about that more in depth when I do the full review. Now, the video quality on here is actually very good. 8K video at 30 frames per second, 4K at 2430 and 60, and then the front camera also does 4K at 30 and 60. So camera quality and video quality on here are very good, and that's what we expect from a Google Pixel device. So first impressions on this device they're good, right? A scale of 1 to 10, I'm giving this so far like an 8, right? It's not perfect. I'm still unsure about a few things, but overall, I think they did a really good job. The display on here is fantastic. The speakers on here are good. I don't think they're that great, but they are good when watching content. The camera quality, the video quality on here is really good. The AI features, of course, once I go in depth with those, then I'll have more to say about that. But one thing I do love is the new build quality. It finally feels like a finished product, like a polished flagship device. Now, We'll see how the Tensor chip holds up over time. Over the next few weeks, we'll see how it goes. If the battery life gets better, if it gets worse, I will definitely let you know. But let me know if you picked up any Pixel this year. Let me know your first impressions and what you think of this device. But overall, scale of 1 to 10, I gave it an 8 so far. And we'll keep going, do a full review in another, probably about 2 weeks. I'll have that finished. Some more pictures, some more video. We'll just go in depth with this device. iPhone season is around the corner, guys, so stay tuned. When that does come, I'm going to hit iPhones hard this year, pretty much every day. That's it, guys. First impressions on the Pixel 9 Pro XL. Let me know what you think. Peace.